Alright, I'm back with another Destiny 2 video, and I wanted to do a little bit of exploration about the Iron Banner shader that everyone is going a bit crazy about, me more than most. This is the new Chainmail shader that you get from grinding out 19,000 rep in Iron Banner. I just read about how long this took me, and to answer everyone's questions, I did this all in 1 week because the second week of Iron Banner is sometime in February. We do not know when because they have not put out a roadmap. I'm going on vacation for one of the weeks in February, and then there are a bunch of huge video game releases in February that I might need to play, and I might not have time to grind out 80-something games of Iron Banner, which is how long this took me. Most of that was on my Titan, my Bubble Titan, but I did play all three classes in order to try and get all 5 armor drops for each character, which I did. I did end up getting all of the pieces of armor at the very end, thankfully, and I know a lot of people aren't as lucky, and the system to get those sucks because there is no knockout protection. For me personally, this was like awful. I literally have not played PvP in this entire season yet. So this was certainly a wild departure, but eventually I just sort of zoned out and did it. And once you were at max rep after beating all the challenges, that is, where is it? You were at an 11x multiplier. Okay, I don't have my stuff equipped, but 4 out of 4 challenges, and then you put on all your Iron Banner gear, and it becomes an 11x multiplier. That is like 220 rep a loss and 300 a win. People have been loss farming because it is much more efficient to just get 220 XP every like 3 minutes on a forfeit than it is to even like try and win a game, which will go to 8-9 minutes. So I understand why people are doing that, but I did not do that. You know me, I am someone who is like really big into fashion in this game at a level that most people are not. Therefore, the permanent unlock of a shader that is this good is worth it to me. We have not really seen anything like this before. And so just a bit about how the shader works. The chainmail pattern applies to any piece of armor that has cloth on it. So like if you see something like the helmet, you know, there's not going to be any chainmail on the helmet because this is all solid metal. Like Destiny breaks things up into like different types of materials, and that's how it decides to apply different shader patterns to things. But if you have something like a Warlock robe that is almost all cloth, it creates a extremely cool kind of battle mail effect. Works really great on Starfire Protocol, which is notoriously one of the ugliest exotics out there. But with this system, you can have it so it will look very cool. And I'm going to just take this off, but you have to be kind of precise in which things you're applying this to. Like, 'cause some of them, it will look really awesome on. This looks really good here. But some of these, it becomes a little much. Like, do you want like a chainmail collar on things? Like, and then sometimes the effect, because of the way the material is distributed for whatever reason, the chainmail effect gets like really enormous and weird looking. Like, I have no idea why it does that. And sometimes for fur, it freaks out. Not here, but I'll show you some of the other ones. But, you know, for every weird one, there's one that looks like really cool. So you kind of just have to put this on and kind of go through your options. Like I had this one on for a while. This one's really cool. And see what works for you and what maybe is a little overkill. So like this is interesting because like this is not fabric. This is like leather. Leather is like a different type of material that will not have the chainmail applied to it. I thought this one looked really cool. The old Black Armory Eververse set. Some of these are like this one. Okay, I don't know about that one. Chainmail Winter Jacket. But it really depends. And then sometimes when it blurs the different sizes of chainmail, it looks a little odd. But for the most part, like you can do some really, really kind of cool. This is one of the famous Warlock chests from Forsaken era. Like there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with this. I will say this works better on Warlock and Hunter than Titan. Titan, I will change that really quick. The problem with Titan is most Titan armor sets are going to be very heavily focused on plating in terms of fabric. Like they're Titans, they don't have a ton of fabric on their materials, but for some sets, this trial set, for instance, has more chainmail than the average thing, so you can see it come through there. Where you really see the effect on Titan is in your marks. Marks are almost all cloth, so you can kind of go through all of these and put your little towel in chainmail form. Like these look really good, I think, as a little chainmail addition to your character. Obviously, Titans have a lot of kind of knight-based armor, so some chainmail accents there could look pretty good. Like that's actually really cool. I actually like that a lot. Battle dress there. So this is a good example of what you can use this for on Titan, even if it is generally more limited. And then this gets freaked out a little bit sometimes with the material. Wait, I could show you. Yeah, this loses its mind on fur some of the time. Like this is fur from the Assassin's Creed set, but it's like, is this fabric? Is this not fabric? Like sometimes fur is normal, other times fur is like steel wool, so that looks a little weird. In terms of probably my favorite look I've done for this is my Hunter. Everyone hates this helmet. I've always loved this helmet. I think it's really cool, but now you can do like a warrior nun full chainmail look with this Iron Banner face towel helmet. But obviously the most important thing you're going to see on Hunter is the cloaks. All of these cloaks will be heavily chainmail, so that opens up a lot of possibilities for how cool you can make this look on here. Some of these get a little extreme, but pretty much all of these cloaks, well, not that one, but are going to have some significant chainmail components to them. It's also true that a lot of Hunter legs and arms will have pretty significant chainmail too, like because Hunters in general are pretty cloth heavy in terms of all their pieces of armor. There's not as much plating, so I think it can go a little extreme on the pants. So like if you're trying to do fashion with this, I think you want to pick like some things that use chainmail and then other things that are more plating, so it's not just like 100% chainmails. I think it can be a little extreme. Well, I have not tried this out with all the exotics yet with each class, because that takes a lot longer, because you can't just go through all of them in outfit mode here, whatever this is called, appearance customization. It's a little harder to do that, but I'm sure people will come up with kind of the, what the best looks are for chainmail on different exotics. The one that stood out was the Starfire Protocol one, because of how ugly that one looks in general. Whereas it's I'm having a little trouble immediately kind of thinking of other exotics that it would apply to. Pretty much all Warlock robes are going to be in that category, because they're so heavily cloth based. Whereas Hunter, it's hit or miss what's going to be something that works with this. Like this is Caliban's hands. There's a tiny bit of chainmail here, but like a lot of this stuff is plating, and you're only going to see a little bit of the chainmail, which is fine. I think sometimes you actually kind of want, a more subtle effect rather than so much of it being chainmail. A lot of these boots are going to be pretty heavily chainmail, and then some won't have any at all because there's leather and metal and there's no actual cloth here. So it sort of just depends. This is one of the most unique shaders in the game, without question. And the problem is the availability is just so terrible. You have 2 total weeks to get this. Iron Banner shaders do not return. I have missed plenty of shaders in my day. Seasons, activities, so like I've missed Crucible shaders. These never return. I've missed past Iron Banner shaders. You can miss a lot of stuff based on what you have or have not done in the past. So Bungie is not good about having this kind of stuff return, and that's why I felt the need to grind this out. And maybe I'm contributing to the problem by doing that, but like for me personally, a couple of days of awful Iron Banner grinding is worth having this as a permanent unlock, because it's that good. It would take a lot for me to fully commit to a grind like that, But I really fundamentally do think the shader is something I'll be using for as long as Destiny 2 exists. And because of the limited availability, I had to get it. And I know some other people feel the same way. If you have to lost trade to get it, I'm not going to judge you if that is the fastest way to do it. But it was not great doing it the old-fashioned way. I mean, I was going to play anyway because my original transmog goal here was just to get all of the Iron Band. Oh, this is pretty good. I got to show you the wolf. Chainmail wolf is he goes pretty hard. I had to get like this full set because this is like the classic Iron Banner armor that is finally returned. So I was going to do that anyway. Oh, nice. The cowboy hat itself is not chainmail, but I was going to do it anyway. And so by the time it pretty much took me as long, to get all 5 pieces of armor and 5 classes to get the chainmail in the first place. But the difference there is like this will be the Iron Banner armor set for probably at least a year. And there's no time limit on it, unlike the shader itself, which will probably not reappear after this season, barring any major changes. If Bungie is listening to this, I really hope they consider the length of the grind here. Putting it on the second reset is very annoying. Having only 2 weeks of Iron Banner is very annoying. Not telling us when the second week of Iron Banner is very annoying. All of the rep gains, which add up to really not that high of rep gains in the end, is very annoying. 80 games to get this across 2 weeks total. 1 week if you can't play for 1 week that's too much. I don't like that. So I hope changes are made in the future, but I can't trust that they will make those changes. So I just had to get this on the off chance that they don't change anything, which does seem somewhat likely. So that is my thoughts on the shader. It's really only for armor. I have not really seen it because weapons just are not like cloth based. This is not going to do anything for weapons or ships or most ghosts or sparrows. I think I have not really seen the chainmail effect apply anywhere but clothing, which makes sense, but just in case you were wondering about that. So anyway, this is what it looks like. It's very cool, and if you don't grind it, I don't blame you. If you do what you got to do to grind it and lose a bunch, I don't blame you either. But it's an instant classic, and once again, the shader team has just been on fire this entire past year. They have made some of the best shaders I think we've ever seen. Some of my favorites, that one's pure white, but there are just a ton of good shaders over the past few seasons. Like this is the famous blood shader, which depends how it applies to different armor, but really, really great shaders they've done, and I've been deeply impressed with how detailed and how elaborate they've gotten with this kind of stuff. It is next level, and then the chainmail, even if it glitches out on some things, is fantastic. So anyway, those are my thoughts. You can do what you want, you cannot do what you want, it's up to you. But thanks for watching, and I will talk to you later. Take care.